We have Seb Jones joining us all the way from the United Kingdom. And of course, we'll talk about this and exactly what is going wrong with the Manchester sides, United and City. Thank you very much, Seb, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Great to be on.
Great to have you with us. Now, let's talk about Man United. We saw that game yesterday. And, I mean, before Ruben Amorim came in, a lot of football fans in Man United were saying, look, this is the savior for Manchester United. This is the man who is going to change their story. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon.
Well, no, that's certainly true. I think the troubles lie deeper in Manchester United than just a team on the pitch. I think the troubles extend to matters off the pitch as well. But yeah, people thought that Amorim was going to come and going to change things overnight, but that's not the case. Evidently he's got his work cut out, and a big change is going to be needed. And that's going to take time, especially at a club like Manchester United. Amorim wants to bring his style of play, wants to bring in his players, and that's going to take some time. And it's not quite going to be the overnight fix that I think Manchester United fans certainly thought it was going to be.
Right. I'm looking forward to the January transfer window. There are rumours that he just might go back to Sporting and pick a couple of players from there to help see his season through at United. Talking about players like Victor Gyökeres, we are hearing rumours that he just might go back there and pick that striker. But of course, he has Højlund. There is also Zexi and Rashford at United. Is he going to sell these players in order to bring in Victor Gyökeres, or will he manage what he has until the summer?
Well, it's an interesting point because actually before Amorim came in, the strikers that you just mentioned there, Rashford, Zexi, hadn't actually been firing. But actually since Amorim's come in, they've actually been on good form, in fairness, both of which grabbing a brace in the past week or so. So, yeah, it's a good question. I think when a player like Gyökeres is available and, has worked with Amorim before, it'd be stupid for Amorim to not bring him in, if that makes sense. He's already got that relationship with the manager. He's played in England before, formerly of Coventry City as well. So, yeah, I think why not? But as you said, if they do bring in Gyökeres, you're going to have to get rid of some of the players. Rashford, we know, especially last season, hasn't been in his best form. This season, we're not really seeing the best of him so far. So I'd be surprised if Rashford did move on. Højlund and Zexi, however, I wouldn't, because I think Gyökeres is a step up on those two players.
All right, so stepping up on those two players, looking forward to what Man United will do in their coming games. Their next game will be in the Europa League against Victoria Pleasant, and after that, it will be a derby of the inconsistent United Manchester teams, talking about Manchester United taking on Manchester City. So these are crucial games for United to win. Now let's talk about Manchester City. Goals from Erling Haaland and Rico Lewis saw 10-man City twice come from behind, as Pep Guardiola's side fought out a battling 2-2 draw at Crystal Palace. Now, City manager Pep Guardiola has said his team will take the points, and also he emphasized that it was a season to suffer. Let's quickly listen to Pep Guardiola. Then when we come back, we will get your thoughts. All right, my producer says that we don't have Pep Guardiola yet. But of course, looking at how City, did you expect City to struggle anytime this season?
Yes, I think when you have that much of success as City have had over the last few years, then evidently there is going to be a little bit of a slump, a little bit sort of a season where it doesn't quite go as successful as the previous. I'm not quite sure the extent of failure that we have seen by City so far this season, really. I guess that was exacerbated really by Rodri's injury, that they are missing him. There's no doubt about that. They are missing such a player like him. It's a big miss for Manchester City and Pep Guardiola's side. But yeah, I knew they would sort of fold at some point, but maybe not to the extent that they have done so far this year. And that Manchester derby is going to be a massive game for both sides. Obviously, Amorim pretty new to his role at Manchester United, and Pep Guardiola needs a good result because the results in the past few weeks just haven't been good enough.
Right, the results haven't been good enough for Pep Guardiola and Manchester City, and it says his team will struggle, they're suffering, and they have to go through it. But before we listen to him, let's talk about Chelsea as well. Today, it is a Super Sunday clash between Chelsea and Tottenham Hotspur, and for Enzo Maresca's game, it is the first taste of this particular London derby. The Blues head across the capital in a confident mood after 4 successive victories, with Wednesday's evening's 5-1 hammering of 10-man Southampton, moving them within 7 points of table toppers Liverpool. Maresca's men continue to impress in the Italian debut season at the helm, and he can pull 11 points clear of Spurs with victory in North London. Chelsea triumphed twice in this fixture last season, including a memorable 4-1 victory against nine-man Tottenham on the road. The Blues have won 4 of their last 5 away trips to Spurs, and of course they'll be favourites to make that 5 from 6 later today, because Ange Postecoglou's Tottenham are struggling. The fans are calling for an improvement with the club. Will we see what we saw against Manchester City, talking about Tottenham dealing with Manchester City? Do you think we're going to see something like that against Chelsea today, or will Chelsea take all 3 points?
The reaction, that is for sure. You know, as you said, such a poor result in recent weeks, particularly that Bournemouth one. But, you know, flash your minds back to November when they beat Manchester City 4-0. So it all sort of depends what Tottenham side are going to turn up. You know, I would imagine that Ange Postecoglou is going to have some stern and strict words with his players. So I imagine that we will see reaction from Tottenham Hotspur this afternoon. And I imagine we're going to see a better performance than what we have seen over the past few weeks. More sort of similar to what we saw when they beat Manchester City, rather than sort of the games against Bournemouth of late. So yeah, we're definitely going to see reaction from Tottenham this afternoon. Ange Postecoglou, you know, I think he's feeling the pressure a little bit. You mentioned there the fans have not been very happy recently, but I think he's feeling the pressure. So he will want his players to react, and he will want to win the game, especially with it being a London derby.
All right, the London derby between Tottenham and Chelsea, we look forward to it, and we just hope that it will be as interesting as it is already on paper. But of course, thank you, Seb Jones, for joining us today, all the way from the United Kingdom. We look forward to having you again.
No worries. Thank you very much.